Think you understand the animal world? Think again, because some species possess abilities so bizarre they're almost unbelievable, and the craziest is yet to come, so stay and discover them. Mantis shrimp, the living hammer of the ocean. The mantis shrimp looks like something out of a science fiction movie. Bright, colorful, almost unreal. But behind that striking appearance lies one of the most powerful and dangerous weapons in the animal kingdom. This creature does not just attack, it unleashes force in a way that almost seems impossible. At the center of its power are its specialized front limbs, shaped like compact clubs. When it strikes, those clubs accelerate at speeds of up to 23 meters per second, comparable to a bullet leaving a gun in the blink of an eye. The mantis shrimp delivers a punch so fast and so strong that it changes the water around it. As the strike moves through the water, it creates tiny vapor bubbles in a process called cavitation. These bubbles collapse instantly, releasing a second odor, a shockwave that follows the original hit. For a brief moment, this collapse even produces a flash of light and extreme heat, reaching temperatures close to 4,700 degrees Celsius, almost as hot as the surface of the sun. So every time a mantis shrimp punches, it is not just one odor. It is two, a physical blow followed by a microscopic explosion. The force behind this attack can exceed 1,500 newtons. That is enough to shatter shells, crack open crabs, and even break the glass of an aquarium. In fact, many aquariums have to keep mantis shrimp in specially reinforced tanks, because a single odor could literally smash through the walls. And yet, this incredible power comes with remarkable durability. A mantis shrimp can deliver up to 50,000 strikes before needing to replace its club through molting. That is tens of thousands of high-impact blows without losing effectiveness, like a perfectly engineered weapon that never wears out. But the mantis shrimp is not just about strength. Its eyes are equally astonishing. With 16 different types of color receptors, it can see a range of colors far beyond human vision. While we see a limited spectrum, the mantis shrimp experiences a world filled with layers of color and wooded light that we cannot even imagine. It is like living in a completely different visual reality. Its body, covered in vivid shades of green, blue, red, and orange, almost glows underwater. The patterns resemble a peacock feathers, making it one of the most visually stunning creatures in the ocean. But that beauty hides something far more intense, a fighter built for speed, power, and precision. The mantis shrimp is more than just a predator. It is a perfect example of how extreme nature can become. A small creature, no larger than your hand, capable of delivering explosive ukua with every strike. From its lightning-fast punch to its otherworldly vision, the mantis shrimp proves one thing. In the ocean, power does not always come from size. Sometimes, it comes from being perfectly designed for destruction. Sailfish, the ocean's fastest predator. The sailfish does not just swim. It erupts through the ocean like a living missile. In a split second, it can surge forward at speeds reaching up to 68 miles per hour, slicing through water with the kind of force you would expect from a high-performance race car. Imagine standing still and suddenly watching something explode past you faster than your eyes can track. That is what it is like for anything unlucky enough to be hunted by a sailfish. Its body is built for one purpose: speed. Every inch of it is engineered to cut through water with almost no resistance, compared to other fish of similar size. The sailfish reduces drag by nearly 60%. That means while other predators slow down, the sailfish keeps going. Fast, smooth, unstoppable. It does not just chase prey. It runs them down until there is nowhere left to escape. But speed alone is not what makes this hunter terrifying. The sailfish carries a long, spear-like bill that acts like a precision weapon. When it attacks, it does not bite right away. Instead, it charges straight into schools of fish and swings its bill in rapid, slashing motions. In those chaotic seconds, dozens of fish can be injured or stunned. Some researchers even suggest that the bill heats slightly during these high-speed strikes, making each hit even more effective, like a blade slicing through everything in its path. Then comes the moment that feels almost unreal. As the hunt intensifies, the sailfish body begins to glow with shifting colors. Its metallic blue and silver skin flashes brighter and brighter, like a strobe light underwater. This sudden burst of color confuses and disorients smaller fish, breaking their coordination and making them easy targets. It is not just a physical attack, it is psychological warfare in the open ocean. What makes the sailfish even more impressive is how it hunts with others. Instead of competing, they cooperate. One sailfish rushes in, scattering the prey with violent slashes, while others circle nearby, waiting for the perfect moment. Then they switch roles, attacking in turns like a perfectly timed team. It is a level of coordination that feels almost planned, as if each fish knows exactly when to strike and when to hold back. And visually, nothing else in the ocean looks quite like it. Its massive dorsal fin rises like a sail, catching the light as it moves, while its body glimmers like polished metal. When a group of sailfish hunt together, it is not just a chase. It is a dazzling high-speed spectacle of power and precision. In the vast openness of the ocean, where survival depends on speed and strategy, the sailfish stands at the top. It is not just fast, it is relentless, intelligent, and almost impossibly efficient, a true master of the hunt. Archerfish, the deadly sniper of the water. The archerfish may look small and ordinary, but beneath that simple appearance hides one of the most precise hunters in the natural world. This fish does not chase its prey. It does not rely on speed or strength. Instead, it waits, watches, and then fires with incredible accuracy. Living in mangroves and estuaries, the archerfish spends most of its time just below the water surface, scanning the world above. Insects crawl along branches or hover in the air, completely unaware that danger is staring up at them. Then, without warning, the archerfish makes its move. From its mouth, it shoots a narrow jet of water like a perfectly aimed bullet. This stream is not random. It is focused, powerful, and shockingly fast, reaching speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. The impact is strong enough to knock insects off branches from as far as 2 meters away. In a single instant, prey that once seemed out of reach is sent falling straight into the water, where the archerfish is already waiting. But what truly makes this ability incredible is something most people never think about: light distortion. When you look at something from underwater, it does not appear exactly where it really is. The bending of light, called refraction, shifts the image, making accurate targeting extremely difficult. Yet somehow, the archerfish gets it right. It does not just aim at what it sees. It instinctively calculates where the insect actually is, correcting for the distortion caused by water and air. It is like solving a complex physics equation in a fraction of a second. Without even thinking about it, young archerfish are not born with perfect aim. At first, their shots are clumsy and often miss, but over time, they learn, they adjust, improve, and refine their technique. By the time they reach adulthood, their accuracy can exceed 90%. At that point, they become nearly unstoppable, true snipers of the shallow waters. Even more impressive, they can hit moving targets. If an insect is flying or crawling, the archerfish does not just react, it predicts. It calculates where the prey will be, adjusts for movement, gravity, and distance, and fires at exactly the right moment. It is not just instinct, it feels like intelligence in action. Their secret lies in their unique mouth structure. Their lips form a natural tube, allowing them to compress water into a tight, high-pressure stream. It is essentially a built-in water gun, perfected by evolution over millions of years. Despite their plain silver bodies and dark bands, archerfish are anything but ordinary. They prove that in nature, you do not need to be big or fast to dominate. Sometimes, all it takes is patience, precision, and perfect timing. Octopus, the master of escape. The octopus does not rely on speed or brute strength. Instead, it survives through intelligence, adaptability, and an almost unbelievable ability to disappear. At first, you might not even notice it. One moment it is there, resting on a rock. The next it is gone, not because it swam away, but because it blended perfectly into its surroundings. Its skin can change color, texture, and even shape in an instant, mimicking rocks, sand, or coral with stunning accuracy. This is not just camouflage, it is illusion. An octopus can make its skin look rough like stone or smooth like sand. It can shift colors in waves, matching patterns and shadows so precisely that predators swim right past it without noticing. It is like watching a living piece of the environment come to life, and then vanish again. But camouflage is only one part of its defense. If threatened, the octopus has another trick. It releases a cloud of dark ink into the water, instantly creating a smoke screen. In that moment of confusion, it jets away in the opposite direction, leaving behind nothing but a fading shadow. Some species even create ink shapes that resemble their own bodies, tricking predators into attacking the wrong target. And then there is its flexibility. An octopus has no bones, which means it can squeeze through incredibly small spaces. If its beak, the hardest part of its body, can fit through an opening, the rest of it can follow. It can slip through cracks, holes, and crevices that seem impossibly small, turning any tiny gap into a safe escape route. But what truly sets the octopus apart is its intelligence. It can solve problems, open containers, and even remember solutions. In experiments, octopuses have been seen unscrewing jars, navigating mazes, and escaping enclosures in ways that seem almost planned. It is not just reacting, it is thinking. Some have even been known to climb out of tanks, crawl across floors, and return to the water without being noticed. It is the kind of behavior you would expect from a clever animal on land, not something living underwater. With 8 flexible arms, each capable of independent movement, the octopus can interact with its environment in complex ways. It can explore, manipulate, and adapt all at once, making it one of the most versatile creatures in the ocean. In the end, the octopus is not just a master of escape, it is a master of deception, strategy, and survival. In a world full of predators, it does not fight head-on. It outsmarts, outmaneuvers, and disappears. And by the time you realize it was there, it is already gone. Pistol shrimp, the creature that fires sound. The pistol shrimp may be tiny, but it carries a weapon so powerful it can stun prey in an instant. At first glance, it looks harmless. Just another small crustacean hiding among rocks and coral. But the moment it snaps its claw, everything changes. This shrimp does not bite or chase, it fires. One of its claws is oversized, shaped like a miniature pistol. When it closes that claw, it does so with unbelievable speed, forcing water out at such velocity that it creates a collapsing bubble. This is not just a splash, it is a shockwave. The bubble implodes with a loud snap, producing a burst of energy strong enough to stun or even kill nearby prey. For a fraction of a second, that collapsing bubble reaches temperatures of nearly 4,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than molten lava. It even produces a tiny flash of light, like an underwater spark. Imagine a creature smaller than your hand creating a micro-explosion every time it attacks. That is the level of power we are dealing with. The sound itself is just as incredible. The snap can reach around 200 decibels, making it louder than a gunshot underwater. In fact, large groups of pistol shrimp snapping at once can create a constant crackling noise so intense it interferes with submarine sonar. Entire sections of the ocean can sound like they are filled with endless popping fireworks, all caused by these tiny creatures. But this weapon is not just for offense. The pistol shrimp uses it for defense as well, creating a protective barrier of sound and shockwaves that keeps predators at a distance. It is like carrying a built-in stun gun that never runs out of power. Despite their size, pistol shrimp are also surprisingly strategic. Many species form partnerships with goby fish. The shrimp digs and maintains a burrow, while the goby stands guard. If danger approaches, the goby signals the shrimp with a flick of its tail, and both retreat instantly. It is a perfect example of teamwork in the wild. What makes the pistol shrimp so fascinating is the contrast. It is small, quiet, and easy to overlook, until it fires. Then suddenly, it becomes one of the most powerful hunters in its environment, a living weapon that turns sound into force, proving that even the smallest creatures can make the biggest impact. Electric fish, living batteries of the water. Electric fish do not just swim through the water, they charge it. Hidden beneath their smooth bodies is a biological system that can generate electricity, turning these fish into living power sources. Some species produce only mild pulses, but others, like electric eels, can unleash shocks strong enough to stop a heart or knock a human off their feet. This electricity is not random, it is controlled, precise, and used for multiple purposes. At low levels, electric fish send out gentle pulses to sense their surroundings. In dark or murky water where visibility is almost zero, they create an invisible electric field around their bodies. When something enters that field, it disrupts the signal, allowing the fish to see without using its eyes. But when it is time to hunt, everything changes. The fish ramps up its power, releasing high voltage bursts that surge through the water like a sudden storm. These shocks can reach hundreds of volts, instantly overwhelming the nervous systems of nearby prey. Muscles lock, movement stops, and the prey becomes helpless in seconds. It is not just a single shock either. Electric fish can fire rapid pulses in sequence, ensuring their target has no chance to escape. Imagine being hit by a series of invisible punches, each one stronger than the last, until your body simply gives out. Some electric fish even use their power to control prey. By sending carefully timed pulses, they can force hidden animals to twitch or reveal themselves. It is like remotely activating their target, making the hunt even more efficient. Despite this incredible ability, electric fish do not waste energy. They carefully manage their output using just enough power for each situation. Low for navigation, high for attack. It is a perfect balance between efficiency and power. Their bodies are lined with specialized cells called electrocytes, which function like tiny batteries stacked together. When activated, these cells release energy all at once, creating a powerful electric discharge. It is nature's version of a built-in power plant. In the silent depths of rivers and murky waters, electric fish rule through invisible force. You do not see the attack coming. You do not hear it. But the moment it hits, it is already too late. Cone snail. Slow, silent, and deadly. The cone snail moves so slowly that it almost seems harmless. It glides across the ocean floor at a calm, steady pace, its beautifully patterned shell catching the light. There's no sign of aggression, no sudden movement, nothing that suggests danger, but hidden inside this quiet creature is one of the most powerful weapons in the ocean. The cone snail doesn't chase its prey, it waits. Patient, still almost invisible against the sand. When something comes close, a small fish, a worm, or another creature, it acts in a single precise moment. From its body, it fires a tiny harpoon-like tooth. This microscopic dart is launched so quickly that the prey has no time to react. It pierces the target instantly, delivering a potent venom that spreads through the body in seconds. Muscles shut down, movement stops. The prey is completely paralyzed before it even understands what happened. Some species of cone snails produce venom strong enough to affect humans. A single sting can deliver a complex mix of toxins that disrupt the nervous system, causing paralysis and, in rare cases, even death. There's no dramatic attack, no warning, just a brief contact. And the effect begins. What makes this even more unsettling is how efficient it is. The cone snail doesn't waste energy. It doesn't need to fight or struggle. One precise shot is enough. After the prey is immobilized, the snail slowly moves in and consumes it at its own pace. Its venom is made up of hundreds of different compounds, each targeting specific parts of the nervous system. Scientists study these toxins because of their precision, hoping to use them in medicine. But in the wild, they serve a much simpler purpose: to end the hunt instantly. Despite its deadly nature, the cone snail remains almost invisible in its environment. Its patterned shell blends perfectly with sand and coral, making it easy to overlook. Many people wouldn't even notice it until it's too late. In the end, the cone snail is a perfect example of how danger doesn't always come with speed or size. Sometimes it comes quietly, humming slowly and without warning, a beautiful shell hiding a weapon that strikes faster than you can react. Cuttlefish, the ultimate illusionist. The cuttlefish doesn't just hide. It transforms from reality. One second it's clearly visible floating just above the ocean floor. The next it vanishes so completely that even trained eyes would struggle to find it. It doesn't swim away. It doesn't run. It simply becomes something else. Its skin is unlike anything else in nature. Packed with specialized cells, the cuttlefish can instantly change color pattern and even texture. In less than a second, it can shift from pale sand tones to deep ocean browns, from smooth surfaces to rough rock-like textures. It's not just camouflage. It's a living display screen constantly updating to match the world around it. But what makes the cuttlefish truly extraordinary is how it uses this ability. It doesn't just blend in, it creates illusions. It can produce moving patterns that ripple across its body, mimicking the motion of sunlight underwater. It can display contrasting stripes to confuse predators or prey. In some cases, it even imitates objects like rocks or coral so convincingly that other animals completely ignore it. During a hunt, the cuttlefish becomes even more mesmerizing. It approaches slowly, almost drifting, while its body pulses with hypnotic waves of color. These shifting patterns can distract and disorient prey almost like a visual trap. Small fish or crustaceans hesitate for just a moment, and that's all the cuttlefish needs. In a lightning-fast strike, it shoots out two specialized tentacles, grabbing its target before it even realizes the danger. What's even more fascinating is that cuttlefish can send different signals at the same time. One side of its body might display a calm neutral pattern to avoid predators, while the other side flashes aggressive hunting colors toward prey. It's like showing two completely different faces at once. One peaceful, one deadly, and behind all this is a surprisingly advanced brain. Cuttlefish are considered among the most intelligent invertebrates. They can learn, remember, and adapt their behavior based on experience. This means their camouflage and hunting strategies aren't just instinct. They are refined over time. With large expressive eyes and a body that seems to rewrite itself every second, the cuttlefish feels less like an animal and more like a living illusion. In the ever-changing world of the ocean, it outsmarts everything around it. Mimic octopus, the master of disguise. The mimic octopus doesn't just change color. It becomes other animals. Not just in appearance, but in movement, behavior, and attitude. It's one of the most astonishing shapeshifters ever discovered in the natural world. At first glance, it looks like a typical octopus, but that illusion doesn't last long. Within seconds, its body stretches, flattens, twists, and reshapes itself into something completely different. One moment it resembles a venomous sea snake, its arms banded and writhing like a warning signal. The next it transforms into a lionfish, spreading its arms like spines to appear larger and more dangerous. This isn't random mimicry. The mimic octopus carefully chooses which animal to imitate based on the threat it faces. If a predator that fears sea snakes approaches it, becomes a sea snake. If another danger appears, it switches forms instantly. It's like having an entire library of disguises and knowing exactly when to use each one. Its control over movement is just as impressive as its appearance. It doesn't simply look like another creature, it acts like one. It copies swimming patterns, posture, and even the rhythm of motion. To predators, it's not an octopus pretending, it's something entirely different. And just like the cuttlefish, the mimic octopus has incredible control over its skin. It can shift colors and patterns, instantly blending into the ocean floor or transforming into bold, high-contrast warning signals. Its body becomes a living canvas, constantly adapting to its surroundings. But this ability isn't just for defense. It also uses deception to hunt. By blending in or pretending to be harmless, it can get close to prey. Then, in a sudden movement, it strikes fast, precise, and unexpected. The mimic octopus lives in shallow, sandy environments where hiding places are limited. Instead of relying on cover, it relies on creativity. It doesn't need rocks or coral to hide behind. It creates its own disguise wherever it is. What makes this creature truly remarkable is its intelligence. It doesn't just react. It decides. It evaluates threats. It chooses strategies and adapts in real time. It's not just camouflage. It's problem-solving in action. In a world where survival often depends on strength or speed, the mimic octopus proves its deception can be powerful. It doesn't fight, it doesn't flee, it confuses, misleads, and outsmarts. And by the time a predator realizes the truth, the mimic octopus is already gone, leaving behind nothing but the illusion of something else. Box jellyfish, the mindless killer. The box jellyfish doesn't think. It doesn't plan. It doesn't hesitate. And that's exactly what makes it so terrifying. Drifting silently through warm coastal waters, it looks almost invisible, just a faint ghost-like cube floating beneath the surface. There's no warning, no sound, no sign of danger. But trailing behind that delicate body are long, nearly transparent tentacles loaded with one of the most powerful venoms in the ocean. Each tentacle is lined with thousands of microscopic stingers, and every single one is ready to fire on contact. The moment something brushes against them, the reaction is instant. Tiny harpoons shoot out, injecting venom so quickly that the victim often doesn't even realize what happened until it's too late. The toxin attacks the heart, the nervous system, and the skin all at once. It can cause intense pain, paralysis, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest, within minutes. For small fish, the effect is immediate. One touch and their bodies shut down completely, leaving them helpless. What makes the box jellyfish even more unsettling is how efficient it is. It doesn't chase. It doesn't need to. It simply drifts, letting its tentacles do the work. Anything that accidentally swims into them becomes a victim. It's like an invisible trap moving through the ocean, silently claiming whatever crosses its path. Despite having no brain, the box jellyfish is not entirely simple. It has a basic nervous system and even light-sensitive structures that help it detect obstacles and navigate its environment. It can adjust its movement, avoiding objects and positioning itself in areas where prey is more likely to appear. Its body pulses gently, pushing it forward in slow, controlled movements. But the real danger isn't the body, it's the nearly invisible web trailing behind it. In clear water, those tentacles are almost impossible to see, making accidental contact incredibly easy. Imagine swimming in warm, calm water, feeling completely safe, only to brush against something you couldn't even detect. That's the reality of the box jellyfish. It doesn't roar, it doesn't hunt in dramatic chases. It simply exists, and that's enough to make it one of the most dangerous creatures in the ocean. Nature always hides things far beyond our imagination, and what you just saw is only a very small part. If you want to discover more strange secrets, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And so,